Hi. So in this session, I want to look at a pattern which basically is just a step ahead from what we saw in the last session. Okay. So the pattern we want to work on will look something like this. Right. So now let's get too worried about this particular pattern, right? So what's happening here is, I think we have n rows. Perfect. Now each row, what's happening in each row? I think each row has some spaces, right? Then the row has some increasing numbers, then the row has some decreasing numbers. So you can split the pattern, split the row into three parts, right? Not two, but three parts. One, spaces, then increasing numbers, then decreasing numbers. Using this, I think we will be able to complete our work. To start with, let's do one thing. Let's just worry about this part of the pattern. We will worry about these decreasing numbers later on. Let's not worry about them. Let's just worry about this. Let's look at, please focus just on this part. So spaces 1, spaces 1, 2, space 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So n rows, ith row, to me it looks like ith row has I numbers, right? I numbers and some spaces. How many spaces? N minus I spaces, right? The first row has 3 spaces and 1 number, 2 spaces, 2 numbers, 1 space, 3 numbers. Total is always 4. So n minus I spaces. N is 4 for first row, 4 minus 1, 3 spaces. Second row, 4 minus 2, 2 spaces. Third row, 4 minus 3, 1 space. So n minus I spaces and then numbers. From where to where? Numbers starting from 1 going till first row goes till 1, second row goes till 2, third row goes till 3, fourth row goes till 4. So 1, 2, I. That's it. That's what you need for this part of the pattern. So we'll have a loop for number of rows. Within the loop, for each row, what you need to do is print n minus I spaces and print numbers from 1 to I. Very straightforward, right? So let's quickly move. I'm going to make a copy of this 11th pattern. Right, 12th. So what's happening here? We have I, this is what I want to print. So we have 3 spaces here, 2 spaces here, 1 space here. So n rows, spaces n minus I, perfect. Now I don't want stars, I want numbers. So instead of stars, I want numbers. That's the only part where it's going to change, right? So let's say number, I'll start from 1, and while this number is less than equal to I, first row I want to go till 1, second row I want to go till 2. So in the ith row I want to go till I want to print this number without a new line, increase the number by 1. So basically what I'm saying is, in the first row when I is 1, I'll go from 1 till only 1. So I'll print only 1 when I is 1. When I is 2, I'll start from 1, I'll go till 2. So 1, 2, and I printed 2 spaces. For I is equals to 3, n minus I will be, n is 4, n minus I will be 1. So I'll print 1 space and numbers will go from 1 to 3 because I is 3. In the fourth row, I'll have 0 spaces, 4 minus 4, but numbers will go till 4, and that's what we were looking for as the first half of this pattern, right? I think that's exactly what we were looking for. So let's quickly run this. Okay, perfect, right? That's what we were looking for in this part of the pattern. Now once we are done with this, let's worry about the other side. Now what needs to happen is, you're done with the increasing numbers, you need the decreasing numbers. So there is a loop for spaces, then there is a loop for increasing numbers, then I think we need a loop for decreasing numbers, right? Then we need a loop for decreasing numbers. So these decreasing numbers, how many do we need, from where to where they need to go? Let's look at that. So ith row goes from 1 to I. Then I think we start from I minus 1. The decreasing numbers start from I minus 1. The third row is starting from 2, the fourth row is starting from 3, the second row is starting from 1. You start from I minus 1 and you go till 1. That's basically what's happening, right? You go from 1 to I, then you go from I minus 1 to 1. So we have already printed this part. This is the part we need to print. So ith row contains some spaces, contains an increasing part, contains a decreasing part. We have printed the spaces, we have printed the increasing part. We just need another loop to print the decreasing part, and that will basically do it for us, right? Just print the decreasing part and we will be okay. Okay, so let's quickly write code for writing the decreasing part. So spaces are done, increasing part is done. Once we are done with this, let's say decreasing numbers, they need to start from I minus 1. We will keep printing them while decreasing is greater than or equal to 1. We need to go till 1, right? So it's starting from a higher number, it's starting from 3, let's say. For I is 4, the fourth row, we are starting from 3, we are going down. So it's 3, then it's 2, then it's 1. So while it is greater than or equal to 1, we need to do some work. What do we need to do? We need to print without the new line this number, and we need to decrease this number by 1, right? So again, let's say n is 4. In the first row, what's going to happen is, when I is 1, I'll have 4 minus 1, 3 spaces, okay? Then I'll have I is 1, 1 till 1, so I'll print 1. For decreasing numbers, DEC will start from 0, because I is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So it will not print anything. We'll just put a new line. So we'll move to the next line. I becomes 2. We will have 4 minus 2, 2 spaces. Then we will go from 1 till 2 because I is 2. For the decreasing part, DEC starts from I minus 1, that is 2 minus 1, 1. It starts from 1 and says go till 1 only. So it will print 1, then it will become 0, it will not print that, and this loop will be done. As soon as this loop is done, we will print a new line and we will move further down, right? So I will become 3. So when I is 3, we'll print 1 space because n is 4. We'll print 1, 2, 3 because I is 3. DEC will start from 3 minus 1, 2. It will print 2, it will print 1, it will not print further because it is supposed to go till greater than or equal to 1. When I is 4, I'll have 0 spaces, 4 minus 4 spaces, 0 spaces. Increasing part will go from 1 till 4. Decreasing part will start from 4 minus 1, 3 and go till 1. So 3, 2, 1. That's exactly what we need, and that's exactly what's going to get printed from this code. So one doubt that a lot of people have is, do I need to put spaces in the end as well? You don't, because as soon as you put a new line, this is effectively white space. So it will look exactly like the pattern that we want. So we don't really need to put spaces in the end. So you can just, after the decreasing part, you can put an enter. Perfect. Let's run this. Exactly the pattern that we were looking for, and seems like nothing too hard, right? Like we just had to understand that it's possible that the ith row is not just one loop, it has to be a combination of some things which are happening. Spaces, increasing numbers, decreasing numbers, and we just had to understand the pattern really well. As soon as you did that, you were able to write code as well, right? Like as soon as you knew that I need spaces, then increasing numbers, then decreasing numbers, we split out the problem into 3 different parts. We had these 3 different loops which were doing their work. Okay, perfect. So I think this basically is like makes you absolutely ready for tackling any kind of patterns. So please practice as much as you can, and I'm telling you, you will not be scared of patterns anymore. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.